What's up, guys? I want to make a video on the term nice guys because it's been thrown around quite a lot and I want to discuss it. So I want to keep this short, but I have a feeling it might end up being a 20-minute video. I hope not, because I have somewhere to go very soon. Anyhow, nice guys, at least in the American culture, it's a term it has a derogatory meaning just when someone says it. And usually, especially involving dating and relationships and that sort of stuff, if it's mentioned, it's usually a derogatory term. And I think it's just a general vibe that's sort of girls and guys, they sort of blanket stereotype that term to a whole range of people. And quite frankly, the term doesn't actually really define what the definition is. They are not talking about people who are simply just nice to you. The term is actually something else, and I guess people get this confused. But nice guys, at least in American culture as of 2013, it's a term to describe guys who are usually, surprisingly, not even nice. They're guys who are just, they sometimes objectify women, and they get very angry or frustrated when the girl doesn't sort of respond in a pleasing way and friend zones the guy, and is just very desperate or overly clingy or needy and trying to sort of be something more than the friend with the girl, and it's not working out. And so this term, I think it came about from guys who were like this, and they sort of used the excuse that they were nice and how they were just too nice, and that's why it didn't work out. And at the same time, they ignored all of these other reasons, the true reasons why they were probably rejected by the girl. And so a lot of people, especially girls, namely I'm assuming some feminists or whatever, they would use this term and they would say nice guys are these people who are just outrageous. They completely sort of disrespect what we're about because they objectify us, and they get completely outraged if they don't get their prize, and they're only looking for hooking up or sex or whatever, and if they don't get that, they're very angry, and they use that as a disguise because they're not interested in anything other than hooking up, and they use the false pretense of making a relationship through friendship when they're not into that at all, and it's very objectifying to girls and so forth. And so that's what it is. And I would just say one note is, don't always blanket stereotype any sort of group, but in this case I would say the majority of these people do fall into this category. But the big mistake is that a small subsection, like maybe 10% or something, it's so small it might not even matter, may not fall into the same category. And you can't just blanket stereotype groups like this, because every group has its exceptions, simply due to human nature and how genetics work. You always get a sort of variance in the genetic traits of every single demographic group. But in this case, all I'm saying is that don't sort of make the mistake that the term has anything to do with actually being nice or not. And that's something a lot of people, including many girls, get completely wrong. In culture, pop culture, nice guys doesn't refer to how nice you are at all. In fact, a lot of the times, these guys are, I mean, they might be nice, but it's always like a fake nice. Like, they're nice to you, but to everyone else, their true nature is revealed and they're like horrible. Or they're just very suspiciously super nice, and it's very fake. So in terms of genuine niceness, they're not really nice. So I don't even know how this sort of came about, but yeah, nice guys don't actually refer to people who are actually nice. And it's funny because a lot of people sort of, they have this like, there's only two types of people in this world sort of mentality, and they use this mentality with, at least in the dating scene, with nice guys and douchebags, and there's only two groups, and that's it, which I think is preposterous. And yet a lot of people have this sort of misunderstanding that they firmly believe in. There's only two types of people in this entire world. And I'm like, are you kidding me? There's hundreds, if not thousands, if not millions of different types of people with different unique traits and personal opinions. And I wouldn't say they even halfway fall into either of these two categories. However, a lot of people are just so confused. Well, they're not confused. They're adamant about this. They're like, you're either the nice guy or you're the complete douchebag. The douchebag is very, mean. He's a douche to the girl. But for some reason, in the bedroom, he's a man, and we like that. And then the nice guy is this desperate guy, which I've already explained. And people just, when they have this idea that you either fall into these two groups, the whole thing is that, yeah, the nice guy is the only guy who's nice, and then the douchebags constantly mean all the time. And that's not the case. In fact, I would say in reality, sure, you do have those douchebags that fall into exactly the stereotype, but I would say a lot of people who actually get married, these males, are very, very nice to their female. Are they nice guys in this certain pop culture term of nice guy we have today? Absolutely not. Sure, they might display one or two of the dozens and dozens of qualities of a nice guy, but they might display some of the qualities of the douchebag too. And I would say the biggest misconception is that you can only be nice in this nice guy category, and if you're nice, you are completely screwed over and you won't get the girl. And I actually had a commenter, I would say like a couple days ago, maybe several days ago, who I replied to, and she said something like, and I don't want to paraphrase, but I have to because I can't remember exact words, but it was like, it's a shame that you gave up being a nice person and chose to be a douchebag. And I replied something like, that's completely not the case. I just abandoned a lot of traits that were sort of in the nice guy subcategory that have nothing to do with whether I'm nice or not. In fact, I believe I'm just as nice a person, if not more nice a person than I was before. And one of those traits was just being genuine. So I'm genuinely nice now, whereas maybe before I was a sort of, maybe at least sometimes, a desperate nice guy who was, ungenuinely or very fake nice when I was to girls, when I truly wasn't really feeling or wanting the need to be nice. And now I choose to be nice on my own accord to everyone, whether they are a hot girl or a elderly woman or man. And it's just a personal choice, and that's a difference. That's the trait that's changed. I'm genuine rather than fake, or how the stereotype is, where nice guys will sort of pretend to be very nice to get something out of the girl. And so yeah, it's not, don't listen to that stereotype where it's only two types of people in this world, nice guys or douchebags, and you can only be nice if you're in the nice guy category. That's not true. I mean, there's plenty of people who have traits of both groups, and they have the best traits from both groups. Look at all the big role models. Our president as of today, Barack Obama, I would consider him a very nice person. He's very courteous to many people who he interacts with. However, he takes the good traits out of the douchebag category, if you have to choose two categories, but he takes the qualities where he's genuinely nice, and he's not, key word here, he's not overly nice to anyone. he's just nice enough, but he's not like pining over them or like putting them on a pedestal. And so that's all I have to say about this. My voice is hoarse. I hope you guys like this video, and as always, like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. I'm hoping to get away from these controversial topics. I mean, this wasn't really that controversial, but I feel like a lot of commenters in my YouTube comments, or just viewers in general, they just feel the need to argue with me, which I think is just, I mean, I would rather not do that. And it's not like they dislike my videos. Most of them will give it a thumbs up and they'll like it, but they feel the need to argue, and that's not why I'm sort of replying to comments. It's just to generate a nice community where I can just discuss stuff. And so yeah, as always, like, favorite, comment, and subscribe.